Nobody tells you this about intelligent people. They almost never feel intelligent. They feel like they're faking it, like they got lucky, like someday someone's going to sit them down and say, "We figured it out. You don't actually know what you're doing." And the worst part? That feeling doesn't go away with success. It gets louder. Meanwhile, the person dominating every conversation, the one who never second guesses himself, the one who always has an immediate answer, research consistently shows that person knows the least. This isn't motivation content. This isn't believe in yourself energy. What I'm about to show you is actual psychology, 10 specific patterns that quietly intelligent people share, that most of them spend their whole lives misreading as weakness. And if even 3 or 4 of these hit home for you, I want you to pay close attention to what that actually means, because it's not what you think. Point 1. You talk to yourself, not in a lost touch with reality way, but when you're working through a problem, you narrate it, out loud, in your head, sometimes both. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin found that people who verbalize their thinking process information faster and retain it significantly longer. You're not talking to yourself. You're coaching your own brain through complex reasoning in real time. Einstein reportedly did this constantly. So the next time someone gives you a weird look for muttering at your desk, ignore them. Point 2. You overthink everything. You replay conversations from 3 days ago. You imagine 5 different ways a decision could go wrong before you make it. People call this anxiety. Neuroscientists call it metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. It's one of the most reliable predictors of high cognitive ability. The brain that questions its own reasoning is the brain that catches its own mistakes before they happen. The overthinker isn't broken. They're operating at a higher layer of thought than most people ever reach. Point 3. You get bored easily. Boredom hits you faster than other people. Repetitive tasks drain you. Routine kills your motivation. And for years, you've probably been told that means you're lazy or unfocused. Here's the real reason. Neuroscience research shows that highly intelligent individuals have a faster reward prediction system. Their brain generates less dopamine from simple, predictable tasks, so it constantly hunts for novelty, complexity, and stimulation. Your brain isn't undisciplined, it's under-challenged. There's a difference. Point 4. You doubt yourself constantly. You constantly doubt your own abilities. You've heard of the Dunning-Kruger Effect. It shows that the less someone actually knows about a subject, the more confident they feel about it. And the more someone knows, the more aware they become of everything they don't know. Genuine competence looks like uncertainty from the inside. If you frequently question whether you're good enough, that awareness itself is a sign of depth. Overconfidence is easy. Honest self-assessment is rare. Point 5. You stay up late. You're a night person. Research from the London School of Economics found a consistent correlation between late-night preferences and higher scores on cognitive tests. Why? Because at night, the noise stops. The notifications slow down. The social obligations end. And your brain, finally free from constant interruption, starts to wander into its deeper, more creative territory. Many of the best ideas don't arrive in meetings. They arrive at midnight when you should be sleeping, but your brain has decided it's not done yet. Point 6. You're sensitive to noise. You're easily overwhelmed by sensory input. Loud environments drain you. Background music kills your focus. Small sounds that no one else notices, a ticking clock, someone chewing, an AC hum, pull your attention completely. This is called heightened sensory processing, and it's directly linked to how much information your brain collects from the environment at any given moment. You absorb more data than others. That's a genuine cognitive advantage, but it comes with a cost. More input means more processing load, and more processing load means faster exhaustion. Point 7. You procrastinate. You procrastinate, but then you deliver. Researchers at the University of Calgary found that high IQ individuals often practice what they call active procrastination, deliberately waiting until a task feels meaningful or urgent enough to engage their full attention. It's not avoidance. Your brain is filtering. It refuses to run at full capacity on things it doesn't consider worth the effort. And then it locks in completely when the stakes feel real. This is why your best work often comes from your tightest deadlines. Not despite your intelligence, because of it. Point 8. You remember strange details. You remember strange, specific things. You can quote a line from a documentary you watched 4 years ago. You remember the exact date something happened. You recall random details from conversations most people forgot immediately. That's your working memory, and it's operating at a high level. The trade-off? Your brain often deprioritizes mundane information. Where you put your keys, what you were about to say, what someone asked you to grab from the kitchen. Exceptional long-term recall and poor short-term recall often come as a package deal. And point 9, you feel emotions deeply. You feel things deeply. This one surprises people because we don't usually associate intelligence with emotion. But emotional intelligence and cognitive intelligence are deeply linked. The ability to read a room, understand what someone is actually saying beneath their words, feel the weight of a decision before the data confirms it. These are sophisticated cognitive processes. Intelligent people don't just think deeply, they feel deeply. If you've spent your life being told you're too sensitive, that sensitivity is how you understand people at a level others simply can't access. Point 10. You never stop learning. You never feel like you know enough. This is the one that cuts across every great thinker, scientist, artist, and innovator in history. The more they learned, the more curious they became. Not more certain, more curious. They kept reading, kept questioning, kept looking for a better explanation, a deeper understanding, a more honest answer. If you are someone who genuinely cannot stop learning, not for grades, not for approval, but because not knowing something genuinely bothers you, that drive is one of the rarest and most valuable cognitive traits a person can have. Intelligence isn't loud. It doesn't always win arguments or top leaderboards. Sometimes it sits quietly in the back of the room, noticing things no one else noticed, feeling things no one else felt, and wondering if it's enough. It is. If this shifted something for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it.